My name is Obi Pascal, a full stack software developer. Today I will be showing you on how to connect MySQL, PHPMyAdmin with your remote MySQL server in order to have a graphical interface to interact with the server. Firstly, I would like to show you how that looks. So I'm going to jump into my localhost, as you can see from here. Now you look at the left hand, you see current server. There's a drop down showing you the servers that are already configured for you to switch between, and you can see my local server, which is known as the root, and this is my remote ASW server known as build my page. So I'm going to show you in this video how to set this up and be able to interact with your remote server. So let's go ahead and click on the remote server. So what this does is it opens a remote connection and load your MySQL database, and you can be able to interact with it like any other database with PHPMyAdmin. And one of the advantages this gives you is that, most of the times you might have a MySQL instance server, maybe located with ASW, and you don't really know how to interact with it except using SSH commands. And you might want to use clients like MySQL benchmark to interact with it, and MySQL benchmark sometimes is really complex and cumbersome if you really don't have basic understanding of what it really is. I mean, like how to really interact with MySQL database. You might really get confused using the MySQL benchmark, but with PHPMyAdmin it's a very straightforward interface. You can easily navigate, create database, or you can run MySQL commands, export your data, import them. One of the beautiful things I like PHPMyAdmin is that importing data into a database can really be very easy. For example, I could export the whole database, just the data alone, and then while importing those data, and I want the data to be inserted into the database without checking importing the data into the database without checking foreign keys. It's so easy by just clicking a ignore foreign key check while importing. For example, look at this. If you check here, you can see like enable foreign key. When you uncheck this and then you paste in your MySQL query here and click on go, it could import a large number of your data without checking foreign key, which is a very straightforward thing. You can't really do that with MySQL benchmark. With MySQL benchmark, it's a little bit complex to do that. So enough talking, let's just jump right in to see how we can get this done. Now the first thing you need to do is to first of all have a Xampp server. For me, I'm using Xampp. You can use any other server that is more convenient for you, but I'm using Xampp server, and for this video we'll be focusing on Xampp server. So you can go ahead and download Xampp by checking at Xampp download, and then you go here. You pick your operating system. If you're using Windows, you can pick your operating system, and if you're using Linux, you can check your operating system. If you're using Mac, you can as well check the download from your operating system. For me, I already have that installed. You can see my server is running locally. And then after you've done the installation, you need to start your local server by clicking start Apache. That MySQL server. Now once this is done, you can be able to access it, but before that we need to make the configuration. This is where you have the privilege to set up the multiple server. So we're going to go to where we installed our local server. For me, there's a folder in my root drive. You can see servers where you see Xampp, and I look for a folder named PHPMyAdmin. This folder, click on that folder, and then search for a file name. Config.inc. This is a configuration file, a PHP configuration file. Open that file on your preferred text editor. For me, I'm using VS Code. Now, if you look at this file, you will see pre-configured configurations parameters that is already configured. And I'm not really going to code anything. I'm just going to explain what I've done so far, so that you can be able to follow up and do that yourself. Now you can see that this server configuration, this I equals to 1, this is showing the number of connections on this file. This set to 0 means the connection is set at 0, which means the number of servers that are configured to be loaded with the PHPMyAdmin on runtime is set to 0. Now moving further, you can see first server, you increment this by 1. This is the first server configuration, which is set to localhost. As you can see, the user is root, and that's the host and everything. Now if you see, this one is just PHPMyAdmin configuration, and now the second server, which is the remote server. So in order for you to add a new server, you have to do this I++. Now you can say this is a second server connection configuration. So you increase this by ++, then make sure you have these parameters: the root, the user, the password, the extension, the allowed password, and the host. These are the most critical and required configurations that you need to set up. As soon as these are set up, once everything is done, save your file. When you save the file, you have to restart your server and restart the MySQL to reload that configuration file. Now when you reload the configuration file, you go back to your browser and you reload your browser. And as soon as you do that, if you were not having this drop down, as soon as you add that configuration options, this section of code, and once this section of code is actually added, you will now see the drop down showing here in order for you to switch. So the beauty about this is that you can switch between multiple servers. You can add as much remote server, MySQL server as you want to graphically control the data on the server. I hope you find this video helpful, and I hope if you do, just hit the like button, and you wish to see more of these videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you have any challenges with the video and you need help, please don't forget to leave a comment on the comment section.